Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to my channel Aptitude Club. Today in this session we are going to discuss another LRDI set from CAT 2022 slot 3. Now this is a very challenging set, I'll say from the beginning, and ideally in the exam scenario it's very difficult to crack such kind of sets, but while preparing for the exam we should definitely try and take a look at why does a set like this become a little challenging, or what is the actual challenge while solving such questions, and in the exam how can we know beforehand that we should not waste time in such kind of questions. Okay, that is the purpose of like solving all sets, so that we'll get an idea about how selection works. Okay, it's very easy to say select the right set in the exam and then solve that, you will get a very good percentile. Which set to select, how to know that this set should have been solved or this set should not have been solved. So to get that experience you need to go through all the sets. So make sure you try this set before you watch the explanation so that you can understand better and grasp the concept. As always, I'll try and break down the set, and the way I approach I'll try and share it with you. And if you are new to my channel and if you haven't watched the previous videos, I'll pin the LRDI expert series playlist. You can check it out in the I section and see what kind of structural thinking you need to crack the LRDI set. Okay, so let's begin. So this is what the question is mostly about. Pulak, Kasim, Ritesh and Suresh, four people, they participated in a tournament, had 8 rounds, and in each round they formed two pairs, and with each of them in exactly one pair. So suppose Pulak and Kasim are forming a pair, so Ritesh and Suresh will be the other pair. So they will be playing in pairs. Okay. Now the only restriction in the pairing was that the pairs would change in successive rounds. That means no two pairs or no pair can continue successively for 2 rounds. So if Pulak is paired with Kasim in this round, Pulak cannot be paired with Kasim in the next round. First round, then he would have to form a pair with Ritesh or Suresh. It cannot be, Pulak cannot be paired with Kasim again. If Pulak is paired with Kasim in round 1, so Pulak has to be paired with someone else in round 2. So very easy information to understand. Now in each round, they decide whether to play the game or not. Okay, the decision is up to them. They have been paired, but now whether they are going to play it or not, that is up to them. And if they decide to play, okay, then they have to bet either 1 rupee or 2 rupee. So someone who wins, suppose Pulak and Kasim decided to play, so the bet is either 1 rupee or 2 rupee. So they can bet, play for a bet of 1 rupee or play for a bet of 2 rupees. So whoever wins get 1 rupee from the other, and whoever loses has to pay. Okay, but it can be either 1 rupee or 2 rupee. There is no necessary condition on that. And if they do not play, then no money was exchanged between. Okay. So for example, if someone chose the bet of 2, the player winning the game got 2 rupees from the one losing the game. So quite simple to understand what all dynamics has been given. Then let's take a look at this. At the beginning of the tournament, the players had rupees 10 each. Everyone had 10 rupees, and then there's a table given. This is the table. We'll come back to this table. And the table shows partial information about the amounts that the players had at the beginning of each of the 8 rounds. So while reading, something or the other might come to your mind, like already there are 8 rounds and they are making pairs, so many possibility of creating pairs is there. Then again, bet, it can be a round one, sorry, a bet of rupees 1 or a bet of rupee 2, and anyone can, can win or lose. So lots of possibilities in that case. So by the time you read, automatically these things should start working out in your mind. Now every player had 10 rupees each, so total amount is 4 into 10, so 40 rupees. In every round we will have 40 rupees because no additional money is coming in. Everyone has 10 rupees and they are placing bets between them and they are playing. So sum of the money with all of them is always 40. It will increase or decrease depending on whoever is losing the bet or winning the bet and so on, or if at all they are playing or not. But total money is constant. Okay? This is never going to change because no extra money is coming in from anywhere. Now it shows that every player had 10 at the end of a round, as well as every time at the end of a round a player had either the minimum or maximum amount. We'll go by these things one by one. Okay. So for example, if Suresh had a 10 at the end of rounds 1, 3 and 8, let's take a look at the table. Now there are 8 rounds, round 1 se leke 8, and some partial information has been given to us. For example, Suresh has 10 in this round, 10 in this round, and 10 in this round. Similarly, Kasim, Ritesh, Pulak, partially the table has been filled, and then they are giving information to us in this. This is what the question is all about. So basic purpose of the question now will be to figure out who plays whom in which round, what kind of bet are they placing, or even they're placing a bet at all or not, and if they're placing, who is winning, who is losing, who is playing whom in which round. Okay, that is what we need to figure out more or less. So we'll try and go systematically and first see what all things we can fill easily, then we'll go to the reasoning part and how we can reason out, take cases, and all those things we'll slowly figure out. So let's start. So at the beginning of the tournament, the players had rupees 10 each. So initially, I have put it in this way: 10, 10, 10, and 10. The total is 40. So sum of the total with each of them is 40, which means suppose I'll take round 1. Round 1, I know Kasim, Ritesh, and Suresh have 10 plus 10, 28 with them. That means Pulak must be having 12 because total to 40 hona chahiye. If every round the total should be 40. Similarly, round 2 Pulak is 13, Kasim is 10, 23, Suresh is 8, 31. So this has to be 9. Similarly, round 5, 10, 10. Then this is 13, so this has to be 7. Quite easy to figure out. Okay, these things we can easily put and very easy to calculate. So round 1 we completely know, round 2 also we completely know, round 5 also we completely know. So just with this much only, out of 8 rounds we have figured out what are 3 rounds the scores are. Now can we figure out who played each other? Now look at that. Initially everyone had 10. Pulak, the amount increases by 2, Kasim loses by 2. That means definitely Pulak and Kasim played in round 1. That means Ritesh and Suresh were paired in round 1 also, but they did not place any bet. But they were a pair. Similarly, if you look at round 2, Pulak is gaining 1 and Ritesh is losing 1. Kasim is gaining 2 and Suresh is losing 2. So definitely Kasim plus Suresh would have been paired, and then Pulak plus Ritesh would have been paired. This is how the dynamics is going to be. Okay, you have to see what's the change, and if someone having similar change, suppose there is a plus 1 and the other guy has to have a minus 1, they can be paired. Okay, someone is having a plus 2, then its pair has to have a minus 2, only then you can pair them. But we don't know round 5 because we don't have adequate information for round 4. We cannot exactly say what is happening in round 5. We'll have to gradually and structurally reach there. So if I put it in this form, so we calculated this much: 12, 9, and 7. I have put it here. Now let's see this. It shows every time a player had 10 at the end of a round. That means whatever times each player has 10, it has been written. So suppose I'll look at let's say Suresh. Suresh has 10 in round 1, 10 in round 3, and 10 in round 8. Suresh cannot have 10 ever again. And also the minimum and the maximum amount that he would have had across 8 rounds has also been mentioned. That means suppose I'm taking for Pulak. So 13 is the maximum for Pulak, and we can see 10 is the minimum. So throughout all the rounds, Pulak has to have money between 10 to 13. Okay, it cannot have less than 10, it cannot have more than 13, it cannot have 13 again also, because 13 once it has been mentioned, it cannot have 13 again, and it also cannot have 10 one more time. So whatever values Pulak will have is either 11 or 12 throughout, because Pulak cannot have 10 again, Pulak cannot have less than 10 because 10 is minimum, Pulak cannot have 13 again, and Pulak cannot have more than 13 because 13 is maximum. So whatever scores Pulak will have in round 3, 4, 6, and 7, it has to be either 11 or 12. Similarly, if I look at Kasim, Kasim 8 is minimum, and I can see okay 12 is maximum. So Kasim can have scores like Kasim can have 9, Kasim cannot have 10 because 10 twice and it has been mentioned. Kasim can have 11, but Kasim cannot have 12 again. So Kasim will either have 9 or 11 throughout all rounds. Same goes for Ritesh. Ritesh 10 is maximum and 4 is minimum. So Ritesh has kind of a big bandwidth now. From 4 till 10, Ritesh can have any value: 5, 6, 7. We calculated already 7. Ritesh can have 8, can have 9. 9 also we calculated, 7 also we calculated. These things can happen for Ritesh, and for Suresh again the maximum is 13 and the minimum is 8. So Suresh can have 9, cannot have 10 because whatever times he has 10 has been mentioned. Suresh can have 11, Suresh can have 12. So these are the possibilities. Like this is what we can conclude from this particular structure. Okay. Now how do I use this, and then we'll try and see in what manner can I fill from round 1 till round 8. Okay. So it can be summarized in this way. So for every player I have written down the maximum and minimum for your reference, and whatever we calculated in the first place 12, 9 and 7. Okay, this is what we can calculate. Now think about this. One more thing also we can calculate. Look at this round 7. Okay, in round 7 total should be 40. Already we have 12 plus 4, it is 16. So that means for round 7, in round 7 Pulak plus Suresh, we don't know their scores, but Pulak plus Suresh score should be 24. 24. And looking at the possibilities, Pulak and Suresh, if I am giving them 12 and 12, so I am getting it as 24. If I decrease this by 1 and make it 11, so this has to be 13, which is not possible because Suresh cannot have 13. So Suresh maximum at best can have 12, and in that case Pulak will have 12. So 12, 12 is the only possibility, because if you increase Pulak, Pulak will become 13, which is not possible because uska 13 maximum already given. You cannot reach 13 again. So Pulak has to stay less than 13. So Pulak is 12. So that means I cannot decrease Suresh. So if I'm giving 12, 12, here no increase is possible, and for Suresh also no increase is possible because Suresh ka bhi maximum is 13. So 12, 12 is the only possibility. So round 7 is also done. By that logic, we got the scores for round 7 as well. Now it is saying Pulak and Kasim had the same amount of money with them at the end of round 4. So round 4, let us say both of them have X. Both of them have X in round 4. And we know the minimum maximum for each of the rounds. So this is how the table would look like. Now, rather than figuring out what is happening in the beginning, so round 1, round 2, we completely know who played what player and all. So I'm not writing the pairing as of now. Let's figure out the values first and then we'll come to the pairing part. Pairing can be easily figured out. Don't worry about that. So Pulak and Kasim have the same in this. So what I'll be doing is, rather than coming from the beginning, I see the end is almost round 7 and 8. 7 we got. So let's try and figure out 8. 8 can be easily calculated. Exact results. Now look at this. For Pulak the change is plus 1 and for Suresh the change is minus 2. So if there is a plus 1, there should be a minus 1 also. If there's a plus 1, there has to be a minus 1. Now who can go for a minus 1? And if there is a minus 2, there has to be a plus 2. Now Kasim cannot be plus 2 because Kasim is already at its maximum. Kasim cannot get 2. Kasim has to be minus 1 in that case. So Kasim is 11 and this has to be plus 2. For Ritesh it is 6. And the sum again comes as 40. That means for round 8, I can say, okay, Pulak and Kasim are the pairs, and on this side, Ritesh and Suresh are pairs. You saw how we figured out on the basis of change, because Kasim is already at its maximum, so we cannot assign a plus 2 to Kasim for the next round. So it has to decrease now. So means plus 1 ka minus 1, Pulak and Kasim will be paired, Ritesh and Suresh will be. So then the table would look like this. So we completely figured out round 1. So in round 1 I can say Pulak and Kasim are playing and Ritesh and Suresh are playing. Then this is plus 1 minus 1. So Pulak and Ritesh are playing. Then plus 2 minus 2. So Kasim and Suresh are playing. Here again Pulak and Kasim are playing and Ritesh and Suresh are playing. And X, how do we calculate X? What can be the value of x? Now let's think about this and look at this. This is 10 and this is 10. Okay, if we go back to this slide, Pulak has the possibility of 11, 12, Kasim has 9 and 11. Pulak can be 11 and 12, Kasim possibility is 9 and 11. So if Pulak and Kasim have the same values, it has to be 11 only. X has to be 11. This is the only possibility, because this is the only condition under which both of them can have the same value. So then the table would look like this: round 4, 11 and 11. Now once we know the value of x, we can determine the exact results for round 4 also. How can we know the exact results for round 4? Let us see this. Now in round 4 and you round 5, you check, Pulak is getting a -1, Kasim is getting a -1. That means both of them must have got a +1. That means this score is 6 and this score is 12. Very easy to figure out. Because these two are -1, so this is +1 and this is +1. Very easy, super easy to figure out. So we completely got round 1, round 2, round 4, round 5, round 7, round 8. We're left with round 3 and round 6, where we don't know any value at all. Any value at all. Round 3 or even round 6, we don't have any value at all. So here it is all possibilities now. Now look at round 3. What can be the value of round 3? This is 13 and this is 11. So maybe round 3 can be 12 or it can be 11 also. Similarly, if this is 10 and this is becoming 11, maybe round 3 for Kasim is 10, or Kasim could have gone for 11. Kasim cannot go for 12 and Kasim cannot go for 10 also. Kasim cannot stay at 10, so it is 9 or 11. This is a possibility. Kasim cannot go till 10. Because 10, whatever times you have got 10, it is already provided. So 10 nahi ho sakta, it cannot be like be 12. So it is either 11 or 9. Now look at this. This is interesting. For Ritesh, round 2 was 9, and then for round 4 it is becoming 6. So that means the change for Ritesh is 3. You cannot have a change of 3 in one round. It has to be done in 2 rounds. So 2 successive decreases. So this can be either 8 or it can be 7. 8 and 7. So both the time it's a decrease. And similarly, you look at the score of this Suresh. This is 8, and from 8 this is becoming 12. So this is either 9 or 11. But it cannot be. Sorry, did I do any mistake? Just a second. I think there was a value. Let me check. This 10 is missing. 10 was given in the question, so typing error. This 10 is present here. Okay. This was given in the question, so this 10 becoming 12. So round 3 we have this value. Okay, this was a typing mistake. I missed out this 10. So this was given. In all the previous cases we had 10. So 10 becoming 12, this is fine. So now we have to figure out in what way can we see Pulak, Kasim and Ritesh for round 3 first. Then similar approach we'll do for round 6. So round 3, these are the possibilities. It is 11 or 12, 9 or 11, 8 or 7, and Suresh is 10 at 10 here. Suresh is 10. Now let's think, what are the possibilities? Now here, if you look at the best possible scores, suppose I am taking 11, 11 and 10. I'm taking, suppose I'll take the highest score of Pulak here, that is 12, and then I'll take the highest score of Ritesh, that is 8, and then Suresh is 10. So this is Pulak, Ritesh and Suresh. How much this adds up to? This is 30. I have taken all the possible highest. Suresh, this is fixed, we cannot change this. Pulak and Ritesh, I'm taking the highest possible scores, 12 and 8. So in that case, Kasim has to be 10. So Kasim is not 10. Kasim is either 9 or 11. So after having taken the highest for Pulak and Ritesh, so if Kasim is assigned 10, that means Kasim can never have a score of 9. How can you give Kasim 9? Suppose you take Kasim as 9 and then calculate. You'll see it is never possible. 12 plus 8 plus 10 plus 9. It is never 40. It cannot be 40. It is 39. So that means Kasim cannot have a score of 9. Kasim is definitely having 11. And if this is 11, so then the total score will go up by 1. So someone has to decrease. So maybe it is like 11 plus 11 plus 8 plus 10. This is possible. Or maybe 12 plus 11 plus 7 plus 10. This is possible. Now how do we figure out? Look at this. Suresh has an increase of plus 2. Then somebody has to take a minus 2. Kasim is getting a plus 1. So somebody has to have a minus 1. Okay. Now Pulak is 13 maximum. So I have two possibilities. Either it is 11 plus 11 plus 10 plus 8. This is a possibility. Or I can have 11 sorry. This is one possibility. Pulak, Kasim, Ritesh and Suresh. Or I can have 12 plus 11 plus 7 plus 10. These are my two possibilities. Okay. Now look at this. Suppose I'm looking at this plus 2 and then plus 2. So in round 3 to round 4, Suresh is definitely getting a plus 2. So somebody has to have a minus 2. Kasim, there is no change. Kasim cannot be paired with Suresh. Okay. And I can see Pulak in no way can have a change of 2. Pulak is either 11 or 12, but either of the cases, even if you are taking, even if it is 11, it is no change. If it is 12, it is change of 1. So who can be paired with Suresh in that case? When I'm going from round 3 to round 4, Suresh has to have an increase of 2. So somebody has to take a decrease of 2. So that somebody has to be Ritesh, because it cannot be Kasim, because Kasim ka score is constant. And it cannot be Pulak, because Pulak at best can take a decrease of 1. So Suresh has to be playing Ritesh in round 4. That means Ritesh should get a decrease of minus 2. That means Ritesh is 8 and not 7. And once Ritesh is 8, then Pulak has to be 11 and not 12. So this second case is ruled out. And we are left with the first. Did you understand how we eliminated? You will have to refer to the next round to be able to understand what happened in the previous round. In round 4, I'll repeat again. Suresh has to have a increase of 2, because 10 becomes 12. So somebody has to take a decrease of 2. So the only person possible is Ritesh, because Kasim there is no decrease, no increase, and Pulak at best can take a decrease of 1. So that means Ritesh must be taking a decrease of 2. So after taking a decrease of 2, if it is 6, that means before that must be an 8. So this is how we got the score of round 3. If we summarize round 3, it looks like this. So round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. Round 5 also we got, round 7, round 8. Round 6, let us look at the possibility. Let me write the possibilities here, we'll come to this. So 10 becomes 12, 7 becomes 4. Now this is again interesting. 7 becoming 4, so this is either 6 or 5. 13 becomes 12, so this is either 11 or 12. 10 becomes 12, so it is either it has to be 11 only. It cannot stay as 10, it cannot go till 12, it has to be 11 only. It cannot go back to 9, because in that case there has to be increase of 3, not possible. 10 minimum, so this is either 11 or 12. These are my possibilities for round 6. So that we can summarize here. Okay, let me write it here. This is 11 or 12, this has to be 11. This is 6 or 5, this is again 11 or 12. So every round we have figured out, just this round. So just for our reference, before solving for round 6, let us try and write who played which player in what round. So round 1 pairing was Pulak and Kasim, and here Ritesh and Suresh. Then Pulak increases by 1, Ritesh decreases by 1. So Pulak plus Ritesh and Kasim plus Suresh. Then you see the increase of 2 and decrease of 2. So Pulak plus Suresh, and decrease 1, increase 1. So Kasim plus Ritesh. Then Pulak and Kasim no change. So this is Ritesh plus Suresh and Pulak plus Kasim. Then Pulak and Kasim both are decreasing by 1, whereas Ritesh and Suresh both are increasing by 1. So I can say here Pulak is either playing Ritesh or Suresh, and accordingly Kasim will be playing Suresh or Ritesh. Now round 6 we haven't figured out yet, so round 7 is not possible. From round 7 to round 8 it is easy. This is plus 1 and this is minus 1, that means Pulak plus Kasim, and this is Ritesh plus. So only round 6 and 7 we need to know who are the pairs and what are the values. So round 6, how do I solve? Again round 6 total has to be 40. So what are my possibilities? So if I start taking the values cases, so if I am taking a 11 here, 11 plus 9, if I am taking 9 is not possible because 9 cannot become 12, so this has to be 11 only. So 11, let me see how many cases I can take. Pulak, Kasim, Ritesh and Suresh. Pulak being 11, Kasim 11 is fixed. Suppose I am taking Ritesh as 6, so this is 22 plus 6 28, so Suresh has to have 12, which is a possibility. Okay. If I am taking Pulak as 11 and Kasim is 11, 22 plus 6 28, Suresh can never be 11, so that's not a possibility. So that means Ritesh cannot be 5 also. Suppose I am taking Pulak as 12, Kasim is 11, 23. If I am taking Ritesh as 6, then Suresh will be uh, 23, 6, 29, 11, 40. Or I can take Pulak as 12, Kasim 11 is fixed. Ritesh could be 5 also, 28, and Suresh will be 12. So I have 3 possibilities. Okay, part of Kasim is fixed. Kasim has to be 11. But then we have to look for this Pulak, Ritesh and Suresh. These are the combination 11, 11, 6, 12. It's one possibility. 12, 11, 6, 11. 12, 11, 5, 12. So 3 possibilities we are coming across, and we'll have to see which is possible and which is not possible. So let's take one case. Suppose first case, case 1. I'm taking the first case 11, 11. So this is not 11. Suppose this is 12. 11, 11, 6 and 12. Suppose I'm taking this case. So if you look at this 11, 11, 6 and 12, this is a plus 1, this is a plus 1, this is a minus 1 and this is a minus 1. This is fine. But if I look at the next round, this is a plus 1, this is a plus 1, but this is a minus 2 and this is a 0. How is this possible? If there's a minus 2, there has to be a plus 2. So case 1 is not possible. It's very easy to eliminate, but we just have to think of how many cases are possible. Suppose I will go to the next case. Next case was 12, 11, 6, 11. 12, 11, 5, 12. Okay, case 2, this one 12, 11, 5, 12. Let's evaluate this case. Case 2, 12, 11, 5, 12. So this is plus 2, plus 1, minus 2, minus 1. This is fine. Here I'll have 0, no change. So I have another 0. And here I have a plus 1. I have a minus 1. This is very much possible. And similarly, if I go with the third case, what was the third case? So we evaluated the first one and this one. So 12, 11, 6, 11. So let's try that one. 12, 11, 6, 11. Case 3. Again plus 2, plus 1, minus 1, minus 2. This part is fine. This is 0, this is plus 1, this is minus 2, and this is plus 1. Again, not possible. Very easy to eliminate. If you have a plus 1, you need to have a minus 1. If you have a plus 2, you need to have a minus 2. But I cannot have a 0, 1, 2, everything. So how will you balance? It's a pairing game. So that means out of 3 cases, we eliminated 2 cases. And we got 1 case, and round 6 absolutely we know the result what it is. So the final computation, the table would look like this now. You exactly know what the scores are in what rounds. So in that case, let us like write the pairs. So this is P plus Q in the first round, and Ritesh and Suresh in the next round. Then plus 1, minus 1, so P plus R and Q plus S. Then in round 3, P, Q, this is minus 2 plus 2, so P and S, and plus 1, minus 1, so Q and R. In round 4, P and Q there is no change, but minus 2 plus 2, so R and S, and again here P and Q. Then from round 4 to round 5, there's a minus 1 here, minus 1. So I said P can play either R or S. So let's figure out who it is playing. And Q can also play either R or S. So let's keep this blank. Then in round 6, 10 becomes 12, 7 becomes 5. So P must be playing R here. That means P played S here. So Q played R here, and Q played S in this case. Then 12, 12 fixed. So P must be playing S in this case, and Q must be playing R in this case. Plus 1, minus 1. And then this is plus 1, this is minus 1. So P and Q in the final round, R and S in the final round. Pairing, figuring out the pair is not very difficult. It's very easy once you know the scores. So I hope you understood the logic how we calculated this. For round 3 and round 6, especially round 6 is where you need to take cases. The rest of the rounds, it's not that challenging to figure out. So you just need to think of it in this process structurally. Don't think that you can calculate all the values at once. Okay, you'll calculate everything. First, see, like we started off with this. Every round the sum is 40. So what can we figure out from there? So we filled up some values from there. Then the like minimum maximum value is given. So what are the possible values for each of the players in each of the rounds? Then gradually built upon that, what can be the cases? Pulak and Kasim were equal, so the only possible value is 11. So slowly the set will open up to you. Okay, do not panic in the beginning. If at all you are solving this, don't panic. Go one step at a time and structurally think of it in this way. All LRDI sets I'm solving, I'm trying to show you the steps. How do you break it down, break it down, break it down? Use every information and think how it can be put into use. If I'm using it, how do I write down the information and fill up the table and so on? Okay, of course you need practice. There's no alternative to practice, but I hope all of you understood the logic of this set. So we got the final table. Let us hit the questions. What best can be said about the amount of money that Ritesh had at the end of round 8? At the end of round 8, Ritesh has 6 rupees. Exactly 6 rupees. What best can be said about the amount of money that Pulak had at the end of round 6? So Pulak at the end of round 6, 12 rupees. How much money did Ritesh have at the end of round 4? Round 4, Ritesh 6 rupees. This was a Twitter question. How many games were played with a bet of 2? This is interesting. Bet of 2. So we can see there is one game here, and no change in this case. Now from round 1, in round 2 there is an increase of 2 here, so bet of 2. In round 3, 13 is becoming 11, so again a bet of 2. Then in round 4, 8 is becoming 6, another bet of 2. Round 5, there is no bet of 2, all bet of 1. Round 6, it's a bet of 2. Round 7, I can see there's no change and bet of 1. Round 8, there's a bet of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there were 6 games which involved a bet of 2. Okay, 6 rounds we had, like 6 games. Every round you can have 2 games. Now the pair might decide they will not play. That's a different case. But wherever there's an increase or decrease of 2, we can see that okay, there was a bet of 2 there. Which of the following pairings was made in round 5? So what was the pairing in round 5? Let us go back. We wrote all the pairs. So round 5 it was P and S and Q and R. P plus S, Q plus R. So P plus S and Q plus R. So Pulak and Suresh, that is our answer. Okay. So that is it from my end for this set. Hope all of you understood the explanation of this set. Little bit lengthy, I would agree. And try it again, maybe after a few days. Do try it again yourself first. And even if you are not able to solve, come back and again watch the explanation. No worries in that. And do not panic if you are not able to solve a question, okay, or not able to crack a set. Try and try. Constantly keep trying, keep solving. Even if you don't reach the final answer, the process of trying itself is a practice for LRDI. So don't be disheartened if you don't reach the final answer. See where you are doing a mistake. Most of the times in my experience, I've seen it's about reading the information wrong. Okay, we don't read the information correctly, and that's why we get it wrong. So try and read it very carefully and then think what can be done. If still you are not able to solve, we are always there to help you out. Check out the video solutions, and do check out the other videos that I have done on quants on this channel. You will definitely find them useful on your CAT journey. So watched it this far, do subscribe to my Aptitude Club channel, and we'll meet again very soon on yet another video. Till then, keep solving, keep studying, and thanks for watching the video. Bye bye.